I've been saying to myself for the longest time that I want to film a bit more while I'm down here. I didn't even know if the audio is good here, but I'm gonna try. So bear with me, I forgot my microphone because who's carrying this stuff in the morning when they're just trying to get out to the beach. But anyway, I wanted to record a bit of like behind the scenes stuff for my YouTube because I have had such a blocker with YouTube, and I just thought, let me just film something and talk about what I've been doing. So this week has been a heat wave, which has felt like it's been a bit difficult to do anything because you have such brain fog and all these things. But I've also managed to get a lot done considering all of that. So first thing I've done is because I'm launching a new offer, my initial thought was to go and lean on more of my Instagram, because that's a platform that I'm building up now with video, and I'm trying to get more comfortable with that. I'm trying to practice with that, and it's slow burning, but it's something that I'm building up slowly too, and I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to do it. But when launching this new offer, my initial instinct was to lean on my Instagram and to post lots of video content and try and build up my following, and therefore get a good amount of leads, maybe run some ads, all this kind of stuff, right? But I'm still very green when it comes to Instagram. I'm still very new, but it also means I don't have like a good amount of qualified leads at the moment in my followers, because some of it's been friends and family, and then when I did run an ad, I kind of let Meta do its thing in that it kind of went off. I think it went off like my existing following. I don't know, I think I messed up the settings, but when I go back to it, I'll make it more targeted and all these type of things. But I overlooked a huge pipeline of existing leads, which for me is my LinkedIn channel. So my LinkedIn page on there, because I've been building that up over the last, let's say, 18 months, very slowly still, because I've not really chased the followings, and I've not chased a lot of that. So it's still only like 3,000 followers, but that's a good amount for me. I'm happy with that, and it's probably sufficient to help me sell spots on my new offer. So what I did was I went to my inbox, and because I use an app called Condo, which is like a LinkedIn inbox management tool, which is really good. Highly recommend. If you might put a referral code down below, but it means I can label my LinkedIn messages, because the native messaging inbox on LinkedIn is just, it's terrible. So I'm hoping they improve it, but who knows. Because I can do labeling on Condo, I use like a traffic light system. So and I had 800 messages, probably 70 of them were unread, because I kind of left it for a little bit whilst I was figuring out this new offer and all these things, which is fine. We all need breaks when life happens. And I went through all of them, and I gave them like a color code. So green being they were good ICP, they were qualified, they were mostly qualified in some way. They were my they fit my ideal client profile. I previously had I built up a good rapport with them, and they seemed interested in some way previously. Maybe they just weren't ready, or it didn't quite fit for my offer at the time, which is cool. And then there's yellow, so cold, so they could fit my ideal client profile, my ICP, but maybe I didn't build up that rapport with them. It was kind of shallow conversation, and they we probably didn't get to, that far in the qualification process where I could see if they were interested or if they needed help or anything like that. But on the surface, they look like an ideal client. And then red, which is dead. So unqualified as my target audience or my ICP, and maybe they were trying to sell to me, maybe it was some sort of spam. We all get those. So I organized my inbox that way, and as a result I was able to see that I had 48 warm leads, so the green ones, which was amazing. And it means now that I have a solid pipeline of leads that I can reach out to. I've built a rapport with them, and they might be interested based on what I spoke to them about previously. Maybe they had maybe their pains or what they were looking for, looking for help with, is something is something my offer can solve for them in some way. So it means now, it meant that I was almost ignoring my existing client base, my existing pipeline, and I was going to chase something bright and shiny, which is building my new Instagram and working on content and all these type of things, which it's all very good, but it's a lot of effort for something that I didn't really need to do. Whereas going through my inbox, doing the admin of organizing my inbox, which to be honest is probably something I've been putting off for a while, not necessarily for selling my offer, just in general, and I was proud to see the inbox 0 come up, which was good. But it's not that, it was something that took probably 2 hours maximum of my time, and it was well worth doing. And I didn't go into detail into all of these messages, because that can really cloud and fog the brain, or overload the brain if you're reading through a load of conversations and trying to remember is this, trying to categorize that way. It's just more of a split second, whatever it is, quick decision on just, okay, do they fit here or do they fit here, based on what I remember and what I can roughly see, and what I know about them, type thing. So that was really good. And I've started reaching out to people. I've already had interest in sharing my new offer, which is I'm positioning it as a founding offer to my it's kind of like a micro offer to my core program. So my core program is something that I'm building out at the moment, and by building out I mean recording modules for and scripting everything out into slides, and really making it like a good quality course. I'm trying not to go too much on the quality, because I'm very much aware that it's version 1 and it's not going to be perfect straight away, and I also need feedback and all these things, which is fine. So I'm trying to rein that back in a bit, but it's hard. But it's good, because having a minimum viable product is something you can then ship, and then you can get that feedback and iterate in future, maybe in 6 months' time. So my core offer, I'm still building it out. I'm probably like a third of the way through that. It's a lot of work. It's more, it's a bigger task than I ever anticipated. It's not something that a lot of people do, and that's why I'm hoping the quality of my program will stand out in the market as a result. But my founding offer is basically where I'm helping people through an element of that, and it's a micro offer, so they'll have access to everything that I'm building out as I'm building it out, so first access, and I'll also be delivering live group workshops for the material that I want to share, which will mainly be around helping these people, helping my clients build out a system to predictably attract and convert clients more easily, because a lot of the prospects that I'm speaking to at the moment, they either rely on referrals or previous clients and hoping that they don't leave and churn and all this kind of stuff. And actually they probably have a lot of strong prospects in their existing network, like I did. So it's a great way to see how they can convert their existing audience, because maybe they struggle to turn whatever attention they're getting from their existing network into strong interest for people to want to buy, and maybe they also need help with their offer as well, which I'll teach in my core program as well. For a long time I thought that I have to, excuse the shaky quality production here, for a long time I thought that I had to build out my core program first in its entirety and then go and sell it, which meant that for a while I would be losing income especially if I'm not taking on any clients during that time. And I thought about it because this was some advice had been given, which maybe I probably took either too literally or I misunderstood it. So it's not the person's advice, or it's not their fault probably. I think it's on me. But I was also dealing with some personal stuff, and I didn't have the capacity to take on more clients at that time. But now, after taking some time and working more on building this core program out, and really I thought, well, no, there must be a middle point, because I know that I have a tendency in my brain to think quite I don't know if binary is the word, in terms of it's either this or that, it's black or white or whatever. And of course there's a lot of in between, which can be you can learn a lot from. And so in this example I build out my program and I sell it, or I take on clients and then eventually build out a program, there's a middle point where I can do a hybrid of that, where I take on clients at a significantly reduced rate, which I forgot to mention, because this is why it's the founding offer, and I'm doing it at a ridiculously reduced rate because I'm looking to get testimonials for this new offer, for this transformation that I'm going to be helping people with. And whilst I'm doing that, and I can structure it in a way that it doesn't overwhelm my calendar, my brain, because I'll be delivering things in a group setting, and of course they'll still get one-on-one support and access from me outside of that. But the way I structure it is that instead of having a fixed schedule of we have a 30-minute one-on-one every other week, I'm not structuring it that way because for many reasons, which I'll go into another video. But it's by having more of a hybrid approach where they can access me whenever via message and via private chat, I can then decide the best way to help them, and I can decide what they need in that moment, and it means that they get support directly as soon as possible when they need it, instead of having to wait maybe a week for me to jump on a call with them. And then I can, if needed, escalate it to having a one-on-one call. But most of the time, a lot of things can be resolved within a voice note, or even a screen share, like a Loom recording or something like that. So there's many ways to address and support your client before a one-on-one call is needed, which takes up obviously a lot of your time. if you're serving a lot of clients. And it also means you can serve more clients. By structuring my founding offer this way, it means that I have more time to build out my program as well, which is obviously a priority for me. And yeah, so this is something I'm really excited about. I feel like I have a lot more clarity on it. I'm really excited to share it with people. I'm also doing it at a pace that means that I'm doing it gradually. So I'm trying to lean more into the patience and having more patience of, really working on my product, my service, and making sure that is the best it can be before trying to scale or anything like that and trying to get ahead of myself, because I know that that will pay off in the long run. But I think for the longest time when I first started out, because I was listening to a lot of, hustle bros and all these people saying, to work towards an arbitrary figure, which to be honest didn't really mean anything to me at that time, but you just kind of get indoctrinated into thinking that this is the target I need to have, and I've seen them do it in 90 days, so if I'm not doing it in 90 days, it means that I'm shit at what I'm doing and all this kind of stuff. So it's just all bullshit. But I'm trying to do it slower, take my time, and these things do take time. Yeah, when I first started building out this program, I didn't realize how long it was going to take. I thought, I can get this done maybe in like 4 weeks. Easy. And this was also when I had kind of put in everything that I thought would be useful into the program. So I had a spreadsheet of everything and mapping out everything, and mapping out the modules and everything like that would be useful. And I really had to strip it back. Not only to minimize my workload for what's feasible right now, just to get a product out, but so I had like a V1, because I was struggling because it's something I hadn't done before. I was also struggling with my delivery, with video, and like I mentioned, I'm still figuring out how to do video and my comfortability with that. This is one of my first videos. So like and subscribe and all that stuff if you find any of this relevant, or if you have any comments that might be useful for me. I always appreciate that too. But keep them nice. But anyway, it always takes a lot longer than you think. And my modules, the way I was mapping them out, because I wanted to be such high quality. Bearing in mind, I come from an engineering background, right? So everything we put out, whatever we're delivering, has to be of like superb quality. Another plane. The airport's just somewhere over there. Yeah, I was an engineer, so everything I was putting out, I was designing things down to the millimeter. So that just kind of gives you the scale at which I had to make things in terms of, the level of quality that we had to do it. So unlearning the level of quality needed for something like an online course and things like that. Of course, I'm going to try my best to build to a very high quality, but it's not like, it's not that deep, basically. Yeah, I really had to strip it back, and I really had to manage my own expectations when it came to the level of quality that I would be satisfied with, because obviously we're our own worst critics. And yeah, anyway, so that's just something like I wanted to share, because not necessarily to like plug my new offer or anything like that, but if you are interested, let me know. You can DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn. I'll post about it somewhere below in the description. And yeah, I hope this helps in some way. Do try, if you're selling something, or if you're launching something, and you're struggling and you think that you don't have the right audience, or it's not, I need to grow my audience and all this type of thing. If you're chasing something external when actually you probably have everything you need within your existing audience. So maybe try that trick that I was talking about with the traffic light. labeling if you're able to do that, and check out Condo below. I'll link my referral as well. I also talk about this more in my newsletter, which if you want to read that, because I'll be sharing more, behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to work up to like daily, but at the moment I'll just be doing it weekly because I'm building something at the moment, and it's hard work. So just give me a minute. But yeah, give that a go, and maybe have a think about how you're positioning your offers. Maybe there's something you can do as a middle point. There's always a way that we can package things. I know that, and I do this too, it's very easy to kind of pigeonhole ourselves into thinking that it has to be done a certain way or what we've seen other people do. It's just maybe stepping away, having a think, maybe try not to think about it for a bit, because that will also help. Stepping away from it and look at it from a different angle. Maybe there's something you can do to bring money in now in the short term whilst you're building something bigger. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of different avenues you can take. And this is the beauty of it, right? You can really decide how you want to do things. And this is something that I talk about a lot in my new offer. Well, by the way, the name of the program is the Autonomy Collective. And in that we teach you all of this stuff and how to build a business that's truly yours, in true alignment with the type of life that you want to build and you want to have, based on how much free time you want and all these type of things. And yeah, I really hope that I might be able to help you one day. And yeah, if you found this useful, please like and subscribe. I am new to this channel, and it just really helps me. It just really helps me with the channel, and so I'm told. Anyway, hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm going to rest my arm because I'm tired from holding this phone. It's almost like 20 minutes now. I'm going to cut it down for you guys though, so it's not too long. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.